Hello everybody and welcome back to SaveEarth.us and artofdino.com, and I've got one that's kind of like a blend of interesting internet things that I've found and interesting reality things that have happened to me and have found in the next week, which led to a series of realizations kind of about the boomers, which I've been thinking about for a long time, but wanted to kind of just put it out there because it's nuts. And again, my parents are boomers. I love the boomers to some extent. I've met some amazing ones. I'm still friends with tons of them. I love them. I really do, as they're great people, but what got done to them is outrageous. I feel like they were targeted on so many levels to basically shift the whole entire realm of reality in a direction that would probably be incredibly hard to back down from. And again, this article was another one that hit me. With poor countries that protect the unborn are richer than wealthy nations that kill them. In the Dominican Republic, some places that are the poorest in the world, they are smart enough to make anti-abortion laws and protect their children and keep their population growing. It's the wealthy people, the ones that have been convinced that they're the smartest, that basically mess everything up in every single way. And this video is going to show how that kind of happened. And it started with a realization on these natural flavors, which I despise. I absolutely hate them. I clearly noticed a difference as I was growing up in the ingredients of everything from candy to this. So this is an old lemonade can. I did a reverse image search, which I'll show you in a second, but I believe it's definitely before the 80s. So I think it's the 60s, 50s, 70s, one of them, where this company was thriving, making lemonade mix. And nowadays the lemonade mix is horrible and there's natural flavors everywhere, but this one was just advertised as flavor. Back when flavor did not mean something nasty and sinister and created in a lab. They actually used the word flavor because it was from lemons. And as you could see in the ingredients, they are there. The lemon is there. It's not just natural lemon flavor and then a bunch of other weird chemicals. There is artificial color, and there's things like carrageenan where it explains what it's for, dextrin, flavor, carrier. Again, I don't love these things, but they're better than what's used today. What's used today is just crafted in bulk, it's sifted, it's filtered through tons of stuff, it's used in mediums. Wait till you see, I found a description that is a great description of natural flavors today and how they have to be labeled, because something changed drastically, and I believe it was during the Obama era, but things became crazy. And the boomers, nowadays when raising a kid, we keep our child away from all of that nasty candy. She never has anything artificial. It's absolutely forbidden. But when you go to a party, with a family party with boomers, that is presented and pushed on everyone. And then if you don't give that poison to your kids, they're like, what is wrong with you? Why? Let her enjoy some stuff. And it's like, oh, okay, yeah, but they're a lot different. The chemicals in this are so much different than they were when we were a kid and when you were a kid. Mom, dad, aunt, everyone, but they don't get it. They can't wrap their heads around it. They're just like, feed them poison and then you deal with the behavioral issues that come up. It's just part of being a kid. Is it though? Eating poison? That again is a boomer thing. They convinced these boomers of so many detrimental things that are bad, and the main solution is money for them. That generation lost the value of life, family, and so many things because money replaced it. But here is a great definition for natural flavors. They are defined as the essential oil, oleoresin, essence, or extractive protein, hydrolysate, distillate, or any product of roasting, heating, or molasses, which contains the flavoring constituents derived from a spice, fruit, or fruit juice. Vegetable or vegetable juice, edible yeast, herb, bark, bud, root, leaf, or similar plant material, meat, seafood, poultry, eggs, dairy products, or fermentation products thereof. That's a big one, whose significant function in food is flavoring rather than nutritional. In short, a natural flavor is a substance, the purpose of which is simply to add flavor, which is extracted from a food through one of a certain number of processes. And those processes contain ridiculous solvents and chemicals that they are stored in. So whenever you have a natural flavor and you get it from something, there's a little bit of flavor in there, and the rest is like a medium, a travel medium for that, which is immensely toxic and not meant for human consumption. And it will say that a lot of times. But do people care? Do people get that? Do people factor it in? No, they don't seem to do that. So it says at the bottom, why are they critical? The natural flavor, let's see, the solvent and additives are not required to be in any way natural. That is what they do. That flavor is contained in some kind of solvent with certain additives for functionality, with no oversight at all. And that's the article that this is from, that section in particular. So again, they can dupe you into it. Back in the day, it meant flavor. A lemon flavor was the flavor of a lemon. Now the lemon flavor could be a massive scientific process that has tons of different things in it, but it's just still labeled the same way, and people don't get it. And this is another one that I feel is on the horizon for a gigantic boomer mistake that, again, we will all have to deal with, because they seem to me the only generation who still even considers getting the flu shot. Our generation, I haven't gotten one of these since I was 18, and I never ever will. And I don't know anyone who really does that's around our age. So again, something absolutely useless, something completely unnecessary, and they talk about how it sheds. So these people are going to be spraying something in their nose that they'll get delivered to their house. It will spray in their nose, they'll be shedding it for a month, and then it's going to be delivered through the postal service. Can you imagine the mistakes? I would not want to work for the postal service at all. What if these crack in the thing? What if they crack in your car? What if they crack anywhere and these things just leak out all over the place? People are going to be absolutely spreading nonsense. This is how another plague begins, and it's almost like they are trying to do it. This is their press release. It is absolutely disgusting. This is something that I think our generation and the younger ones must fight against rapidly and extremely fast, because this is getting approved absolutely ridiculously. It was, I guess, approved in 2003, but didn't make it to the market till now. How great. So this needs to be stopped, Robert Kennedy and everyone else. I think it's going to be up to us to do it, to create just a wave of it. But all this, again, stems from this. They created a magical moment for kids, for parents, and they still believe it to this day, no matter what. The size of the computer back then, like I said, was the size of a freaking cruise ship. And now it's 1,000,000 times more powerful in the palm of your hand. And yet they lost the technology to get back. How did any of these get there? How did the pictures get taken? None of that critical thinking or logic enters into these people's minds who continue to believe these fallacies that are absolutely ridiculous. Again, they are the mind control generation. They got mind control, MK Ultra tested on them rapidly, frequently. They are also the generation where communism came into play, in chemtrails. They have, my aunt, bless her soul, she passed away during the COVID times, but she was the only one in my family of that generation that would look up at the sky and say, what the heck are they doing up there? What is wrong with this? I don't remember that when I was a kid. She was the only one out of any boomer I've ever met in my life. In reality, online I've met some, but in reality, my aunt was the only one that understood the chemtrail problem, and that was sickening to me to see her get taken when she was aware, and it's just sad because it's very few of them are aware. And again, the boiling pot generation, like a frog that's in a boiling pot and doesn't realize that they're happy, and then all of a sudden they're gone and they're not. And that's just, I really feel like this generation, sadly, was taken advantage of so hard. And I honestly think the worst of all these things are bad, chemtrails, the vaccine, everything is terrible. But one of the worst of all, I think, is the obsession with money. If you talk to a boomer, they say, oh, don't even bother having a kid unless you got like $1 million saved, or your retirement, you got to be, it's all this stuff. Every single element of their world was centered around money, retirement, planning for money. Make as much as you can. Do whatever you can to make as much. Don't worry about the future generations. They'll be fine. They'll have the same advantages as you. It'll be as easy for them as it was for you. And people around the world are realizing that's not the case. One single family job cannot buy a house. You cannot survive on it. You need both people enslaved nowadays in order to exist in any type of happy form, or not happy, because you're not. You cannot be happy working and spending your whole life dedicated to just making money. That's not true happiness. That's again why these nations like the Dominican Republic and stuff see the value of life and family far above money. And that's what I always do. I value my happiness infinitely more than money. If it makes me happy, that is what I do. That is the path I follow, and I recommend that for everyone, because we have to bring that back. We have to bring in the importance of being a human back, and not just the quest for money. That's not what life is about. It ruins life. It makes evil. It taints you. It taints your soul. It ruins so much of your present waking moments that could be embracing infinity and beauty and perfection and spirituality and infinite other things that are much better. But money consumes us. That is the way the generation has worked in order to instill that into them, and then hopefully it would pass on to us. But we resisted, hopefully, most of us, at least some of us. But we have to do a lot to reverse the course here. And again, I love the boomers. I love talking to them. They're some of my favorite people to talk to. I love them, even more than most generations, because they have stories that are interesting, and they almost have an interesting take on stuff, even though it may be confused and whatnot and steered a certain way. It's always interesting to kind of figure it out and reverse engineer it a little bit. And they're fascinating people. They're very nice, but dear God, I feel bad for them, because I really think that they got all the MK Ultra and mind control things, weapons tested on them in such brutal ways that it's tough to go back, like the moon. When you have such a magical moment, such an amazing thing, I guess it's tough to rip it apart. But I did that with the flat earth when I loved NASA and all that stuff, and I ripped it apart, and it feels much better. And now all my realizations stem from a much better source than just a much freer source than what I've been indoctrinated with, which is pretty much gone from my mind, and probably from all yours as well. So the boomers, it's still thriving though, so we have to do something about that. But either way, bless you all, and I'd love to hear your comments. Do you feel the same way? Do you feel different? What do you think about the natural flavors, all this crap? And again, the boomers, we need to wake them up before they go, so that they can go into the afterlife with realizations that are true and not just completely delusional and like part of the system of garbage that they were smack in the middle of. We have to help free their souls by making them realize some of these things that they are oblivious to. But we love them. Got to treat everyone with love. Your enemy, your friend, your family, everyone deserves love. So give it, and that is the way the world will turn. Bless you all from artofdino.com and saveearth.us.